Good evening. What you are about to hear is a veritable meeting of minds. Some of the ideas discussed may present as challenging for some. However, we feel those joining us will find themselves somewhat enlightened by the experience. We welcome you to indulge yourself in a conversation with gentlemen.
Hey Vin, me and the cool kids are gonna go out back and smoke massive amounts of cigarette.
Am I invited?
We only got one cigarette. We're gonna smoke it.
That's cool. I'm not super duper into cigarettes anyway, but I'll watch.
Me and the cool kids are gonna go out to the front of the school and vape
Now you're talking my language.
off of one singular juice pod.
Now you're not talking my language.
We're all gonna get in on one juice pod.
I saw what Brad has on his mouth.
We're gonna do
Not
the.
touching
We're
that
gonna do
shit.
what's gonna be called a group cloud. It's like we all hold hands in a circle and blow a cloud from
At
each
each
person into one bigger cloud, like a nimbus. That's what we're gonna call it. We're calling it a nimbus.
Oh, see, my clique, we call it a group chucking.
A group chucking.
Group chucking.
Oh no. Then
The Chucking Collective.
what clique were you in
Okay, so
that you had a group chucking?
there's no group chucking. But if we want to take a ride into the reality real quick, I was in a clique with the cool kids in middle school, right?
Wait, you were in a cool clique?
I was in the cool clique.
Everybody's clique was cool.
I was in the cool clique, though.
Okay.
I was in the clique.
Backwards hat.
Yeah, backwards hat.
One
like,
strap backpack.
What up? Like, we were like some of the first crews, like dapping each other the right way. You know what I
The
mean?
right way.
The right way.
Explain to me the right way.
You know the right way. I shouldn't have to explain it to
I
you,
don't
man.
tap.
I'm talking about like this thing, and then the snap.
Okay.
With the snap, you have to
All
have
right.
the snap.
You get little finger guns out?
Yeah, no finger guns.
Oh.
That's for the fucking nerds.
Well, here I am.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I was with the cool kids, but my story takes a bit of a turn, because while I was in this clique with the cool kids, one day somebody walked by, and I looked up from my lunch, and the kid smiled at me, and then I went about my day, and not until I got home did I realize that this kid hocked a fucking chunky loogie on my shirt, and I didn't realize it. This kid spitted on me.
He spitted on you.
Spitted.
Was he part of the cool kid clique, or was he different?
He was like the degenerate, the kid that was always getting in trouble, but everybody liked him because he was like a badass.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So that happened.
His name was Skylar.
Then I started hanging out with. His name was Mike, I think.
No, that's not that cool of a name. We're gonna call him Skylar.
All right, Skylar. And I was so that happened, and then I started hanging out with the rocker crew.
Okay.
Which was a mix of metal kids and punk kids, because
Obviously
there were two of the outcast groups that there weren't enough members of, so they decided to join forces.
Okay.
So in this metal clique, there was this little kid, and his name was Ralph, and this kid was the most metal kid that I've ever seen at this point in my life.
Right.
He had the UFO pants, like with this fucking size 34.
Hell yeah.
Ankle.
Couldn't see those feet.
Yeah. The kid would wear the Cradle of Filth shirt that said Jesus was a cunt on it.
How many chains were coming out of those pockets?
All right. He had like 2 on the right, 3 on the left.
Oh,
fucking this kid had spikes on his wrist. He had those black rubber bands that you would like twist them together and make like bracelets. He had a whole bunch of those. Spikes in his ears. He had this long fucking hair that he would use beeswax to put it down. You know how people, when they're dreading their hair, they use the beeswax?
Yeah, hell yeah, sure.
Yeah, so this kid would just put that shit in his hair. I tried that one time. That was bad. Yeah, so this kid was just alpha dog metal, and like he worshipped the devil and shit. Like I was a little bit scared of this kid. Like he was going like in the woods and doing sacrifices and all that weird shit.
Sacrifices.
Well, sacrifices as a fucking 12-year-old. Whatever, I don't know. He fucking found a dead bird and like stuck a stick in it. And
Well,
like,
that
"This
was
is
already
for Satan."
sacrificed. That was sacrificed by God.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
You can't recycle sacrifices. That's not how you appease
Fucking says who?
any entity.
Anyway, that's not my department. But yeah, this kid he was one of those. He was like alpha metal.
Okay.
We'll call him. And then there was the punk kids who were just like wiping boogers on each other and
Hell yeah.
doing all that
Hell
kinda
yeah.
weird shit.
The glue sniffers.
Yeah, the glue sniffers.
The punk
fucking-
rockers.
Yeah, putting Elmer's glue in their fucking blue hair.
Hell yeah. That shit works.
Yeah.
So, whatever, man. They figured that shit out.
That was my crew. That's where I fucking fit in. And I was like, you know what? Y'all guys,
So-
know what's up.
So, up to this point, you were part of the cool kid clique.
No, I was like the duff for the cool kids. I was
Okay.
the designated ugly fat friend, more or less.
Okay.
So then when I got to the metal crew, they were all kind of ugly and fat in their own right. So I was like,
In their
"Hey,
own
guys,
way.
I'm both. Can I join?"
I've got insider information about the cool kids.
Like, I thought I was cool because I listened to Slipknot and shit like that. And this was like right around when I was getting into playing the drums.
Okay.
And then that's when I found Slipknot, and Joey Jordison opened the door for me, and fucking I was obsessed with this man.
Nice.
Yeah. But I'm thankful for that spit on the shirt because that guy fucking put me in a position to find what I was really supposed to be doing here.
Yeah. So basically, one day, you went to school,
Yeah,
got spit on,
I did.
and you were like, "I need a new life
I
plan
was
from
like,
here
you know
on out,
what? I'm going to be a rock star.
and I'm gonna go hang out with the kids who use the spit to fix their hair." And
Yeah. Yeah. Hey,
I mean, yeah.
that's the way a young brain works.
How did that get you through school, though? Did it help?
Well, yeah, I had a group of friends that I could relate to. I didn't feel like I was fucking alone.
That must have been nice
Yeah, it was to a degree.
to a degree.
But-
I mean, yeah.
It,
I wish I had friends.
I mean, it was a similar concept to like, all right, so these kids were picked on and they were in their own group, and now they're picking on each other, but in like a friendly,
fun way.
Yeah, a fun way.
Fun
So
way, sure.
yeah, that's kind of like what happened. So I went from being made fun of in this way and letting it bother me to being made fun of in this way and letting it bother me a little
Wish
bit
we had
less.
you like on an episode of like Saved by the Bell or some shit. That would have been dope. Like your just whole school story.
It
that
would
would've
not
been
make
awesome.
an interesting TV show.
I mean, I feel like it would.
You'd watch it? You'd
I'd
watch
watch-
me
yeah.
get spit on? And then,
Absolutely.
and
And
then
then
turn into
go
the
and
kid from
find your
Whiplash?
fucking calling. Yeah. Like that was the turning point. That's dope. And the way I see it, it's like the first episode, you're with the cool kids, you realize you don't belong, you get the loogie hawked on you, and then that sad guitar riff plays at the end, and you kind of like turn, and then you just see all the metal kids on the other side of the hall, and they give you a nod, like, come.
I'll only do this project if Guillermo directs.
All right, yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
I need Guillermo signed on before I do anything.
I will get in touch.
Not Del Toro, the guy from Jimmy Kimmel.
Little guy.
Little guy.
I like little guy. I like little guy a lot. I was an independent going through school. I didn't
Yeah.
belong to any clique exclusively, which gave me free roam to go in between all of the others.
Which, in the grand scheme of things, that guy is the coolest guy because he's cool with everybody. Everyone's
most
like, "Yo,
useful.
Hey.
Yeah, I was the most useful.
Yeah, okay, that's a good way to put it. That's a socialist way to put it.
Yeah, no, I was useful. I could get a lot of things done and not have anybody affiliated with me, which was always good.
Right.
That is-
like the duffel bag boy.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that one. I always carried a duffel bag with me full of chocolate candies and moon pies.
Yo, what's up, dog? You want some of this?
And hot fries.
You want some of this candy?
You want some of this candy? No,
You want some of these F-word fries?
You want some of these F-word fries? I literally... Alright, so the only time that I think really in school, I did have it out with a couple of people from different quote-unquote cliques.
Naturally.
But, those are just people who are jealous of
Right.
my freedom.
Right.
I
Don't
get to
hate
hang
me
out with
'cause you
people.
ain't me.
Yeah, I get to hang out with people you'll get to hang out with. Don't fucking be mad.
Right.
Plus, all the weed I'm bringing you is from the other cliques, so just shut up
So
and take it.
if you know what's good for you.
I also got to hang out with the teachers that way and find out how many of them were potheads,
That's wonderful.
which is pretty dope. But it wasn't until, and we always bring him up, but one day we're going to get him on here. It wasn't until I met Josh in high school when I moved to Jersey that, like, you know, I solidified like a small group of people that I would hang out with, and the amount of crap we got into.
Oh yeah.
It's just that small clique. Now, when I first met him was in art class, and I walked up to him, and he was a bigger Josh at the time,
Right.
or whatever. He was a little bit more
Big
angry.
Josh.
Yeah, he didn't find his inner peace yet. And I sat down next to him in art class, and I was just like, I had like a pocket full of candy or some shit. I just put it up on the table and started eating it. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm eating fucking candy, my guy." And he started laughing, and the teacher got mad and took all my candy away because I'm not allowed to have it on the fucking table.
And you're just like, dude.
And then we started talking, and I was like, I started asking him random things. I just started getting into like heavier music and all this other stuff. Not just getting into it, but like looking for somebody to communicate this stuff with.
Right.
And I was like, "Hey, just out of curiosity, like what kind of music you into?" And he was like, "You know, like rock and metal." And I'm like, "Oh, sick, yeah. You like Rammstein?" "No." "I know this band In Flames. You like In Flames?" "No." And I just started listing off bands, and he was like, no. And he just came off like an asshole.
Well, that's typical metalhead.
Yeah.
101.
Yeah, exactly. You don't like anything.
Every band sucks except the ones I listen to.
Well, I don't think at that point in time he would admit to listening to anything. Either way, he came off as a bit of an asshole. We hated each other. To the point where one day I went into class and we were talking, and I'm like, "Bro, like," and this is I think this is pretty much how it happened. I was like, "Do you want to fucking fight right now, bro?" And he looked at me and fucking smiled, and he was just like, yeah, let's do it." And I'm like, "Word." And we just started like wrestling in this class, and the teacher came through and fucking like put us both in the fucking office, and we got in trouble. And at that point in time, we were best friends.
That's fucking great.
And like you, we had a couple of punk friends, and one was Doug and one was Steve. And the way that I became friends with Doug, the punk kid, is we had a fire drill. We went outside. I met with Josh. I'm like, "Yo, man, what's up?" He's like, "What's up? This is Doug. He likes punk music." And I looked Doug dead in the eye, and I said, "Punk is dead."
Crushed his whole shit.
And he was like, Doug had like a fucking like 3-foot mohawk and shit, and safety pins and his fucking shit. And
that fucking SLC punk style.
Yeah, he was in it, man. And he was also like fucking 3 feet taller than anybody. So
yeah.
But he just looked at me and was like, "What the fuck is your problem?" I'm like, "It's all good. We're friends now." But yeah, the cliques, as far as that stuff goes, did those die out? Do they still have cliques?
Sure.
Is that a thing?
I think so.
What are the new cliques?
I could not even begin to fucking tell you, man. I don't know what dictates who belongs where anymore. I'm pretty sure all these kids are just going to be like amoeba blobs of fucking like everyone else's personality.
You have to segregate groups of kids. You cannot let them all get together.
We need segregation. I've been saying this for years.
Not I was going to say just the types of kids, not any other type.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, just like groups of kids need to be separated into groups of like-minded individuals. Because once you mix all of them together, it's never a good time. You can't get good things when you put a molten pot of all these different things and small children together in a place, can you?
You're breeding chaos by doing that, which, I mean, some men just want to watch the world burn.
You need order, and order comes from small independent groups and self-governing groups of teenagers.
Yes, we need militias. Teen militias.
You You need self-governing groups of teenagers to, number one, keep an eye on their own kind and keep themselves in check.
Right.
Because you can't put like a wrestler dude in with like with the goth kid and expect them to understand how the social aspects of their whole shit works.
Right. They got
different
connect
rules
on some fucking level.
They got different rules.
Right.
And there's different governing parties there, and what may be okay for some is not okay for others.
Right. The old double standard.
The old double standard.
They're necessary.
They are. Are they?
I don't know.
Don't. No. No. There. All right. So either way, I don't feel like you can have all these kids all together mixed. They have to be separated. They have to be able to govern themselves. But I don't know how that works nowadays. And from the kids I've seen, and this is just coming from what I've seen now that I'm not a kid, because now I'm right all the time.
All the time. 100% of the time.
No one can tell me I'm not because I'm an adult now.
Right.
Right?
And the people who do tell you that you're not right, they're not right.
They're not right because my opinion matters most.
Right.
These kids don't have any structural governing body to them anymore.
Well, I don't know. See, ground zero for all that shit used to be the lunchroom, right? You get in there, everybody scatters. I'm going to go hang out with my friends over here. You had fucking the kids who liked rap music. You had the kids who played Pokemon. You had the fucking, the metal kids.
Yeah.
And, you had like the athletic kids and shit like that. And that's pretty much how it all shook out. And then you had the delinquents that would go between tables and be like, yo, anybody got $1?
It's me. It's me.
So
I wouldn't ask for $1.
But, oh man, yo, sidebar. Fucking kids, when they did not get that $1, resorted to straight up shoving their arm up into the vending machine and grabbing the beverage that they wanted. It was the most badass shit ever.
Oh my god.
But I don't know what the classifications are now of the cliques. I feel like they might have changed.
The cliques aren't there anymore, right?
But,
what was the metal clique is now like the prog clique.
Or like the emos.
I don't think emos are around anymore.
What do they call
Those are
them?
the hipsters now, right?
Emos? I don't know. Now there's subgenres of subgenres, and that's where shit gets fucking hairy. Because,
all right,
like, you had the metal kids, but then when we were coming up, you had the emos and the goths and this and that, and they weren't all the same, but they fell under the same umbrella.
I agree, but UFO and Jinko pants aren't a thing anymore.
Right, so how do you tell them apart?
How do you tell these fuckers apart?
Well, the metal guys switched to camo cargo shorts.
Like Lamb of God looking?
Yeah, or very tight pants.
I'm wearing very tight pants right now.
As am I. It's uncomfortable, but it's fashionable.
But there are so many other types of groups of people that wear tight pants.
What, ballerinas?
Yes, those are the only other type of people that wear tight pants, Finn.
Name another.
Ballerinas.
Name another.
The fancy rich kids in Brooklyn. They wear tight pants.
Do they?
Yes.
They wear short
But then
pants.
there's the fancy rich kids from Long Island who wear boat shorts with boat shoes.
Yeah, that's like my dad will sue your dad level.
Yeah, for no reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you looked at me.
You looked at my shoes.
Right.
You commented on the fact that I wasn't wearing any socks to school, and now here we are
And now
in court.
and here we are in court.
In court.
You'll have your day, sir.
Exactly.
You'll think twice before you comment on another man's toesies.
Do you get your hands off my Hawaiian pearl necklace? Off my seashell chain?
Off my fucking puka shells.
How
What do you think
get
you
your
are?
hands off my pukas?
God
Keep your
damn it.
fingers off my pookies.
Keep your fingers out of pookie.
Is it based off social media? Are cliques based off social media now, do you think?
I can't even fathom the concept, like how that would
Is
work.
there like a Facebook group, a Twitch group?
No, Facebook's for old motherfuckers, apparently.
Those are for the guys who repeating a grade?
Yeah.
The guys
Yeah.
who came back who never graduated?
Nah, Facebook is for double OGs like us.
Yeah.
Like the new shit, like a lot of the kids use Instagram, Snap, my niece pretty much exclusively uses Snap to communicate to people. Yeah, so I don't know how that shakes down into the clicks.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if it's dictated by the apps. I know when I was younger, it was dictated more by the music people listen to, but now I feel like everybody listens to like Pop Smoke and
everybody listens to SoundCloud.
All that trap stuff. Yeah, SoundCloud. Oh boy. My niece showed me some kid in her graduating class that has a SoundCloud, and this boy is just...
Is he awful? Is it the best kind of awful?
Yeah,
or the worst
you know
kind
what
of
I'm going
awful?
to say. The kid's fucking bad at the music thing, which I don't want to judge a kid for being bad at music. He's learning, whatever. But
is he?
Well, one would think that if you do something with repetition, you eventually learn from your mistakes. But I'm not going to confidently say yes, he is learning because just of the generation of people.
Okay.
But yeah, this kid's music is god awful, and I feel like he's getting too much positive
What's his name?
reinforcement.
What's his fucking SoundCloud name?
I couldn't
Please
even tell
tell
you,
me.
man. My brain
Make
don't
one
have,
up. Just
I
lie
have
to me.
Zero fucking.
All right, you heard the
gigs
song.
in the brain for this kind of shit.
You heard the song.
I remember none of it. I remember he was talking about. I think his name. Actually, I think his name is like Little Bands or something like that.
Of course it is.
Little Bands. He's talking about he's got this money. He gets all these bitches. He's sipping on that lean. He's about that life. Gang. Like all this crazy shit. And yeah, he's like 12 or 13 and his music is so bad he can't fucking find the rhythm in the beat. He's just talking. It's like it's almost like deaf poetry with some trash Fruity Loops beat in the background. Like,
which would be the most amazing thing to watch, especially if it was done by like a 13-year-old at a Deaf Poetry Jam.
Yeah, I guess.
What if... All right, hold up. Hear me out.
I wouldn't be into that.
What if we just, for like a week, posed as like an MTV... Is MTV still around?
Yeah, but they only do reality shows.
That's fine. That's what I'm going for.
Okay.
We go rent some cameras. Get matching shirts.
Okay. So
We're
it's
going to need like
official.
4 other people for this.
All right.
One of us acts as a producer. Finds Little Bands. Says, hey, we heard your shit on SoundCloud about the money, about the lean, and about the cars I think you probably said that you own.
Maybe. Girls. He gets a lot of girls.
Gets a lot of girls. We've heard about all the little ladies that you're picking up over here. We want to follow you around for like a week.
Yeah, the world needs to know.
We need to
about
know.
Little Bands.
Can you take us through the life of Little Bands? And just, if not only, the cameras are real. The cameras are, in fact, real.
Yeah.
To watch him go, I don't have this stuff. You can't film me. Like, that's what I want.
We want to see you sip the lean.
Sip the lean. Just come to him with, like, an actual styrofoam cup just full of actual lean. Like, chug it.
Sip it.
Chug it. Drink it.
God.
Drink it. We're already on it. Everybody involved in this crew is leaned the fuck out. Get with us.
Show us your money.
Show us your cars and women.
Otherwise, shut up.
Just play him back the song and just start taking little clips of it from
Using it as, like, evidence?
Please,
Like, so
just
here you
just
said
take
you
us through this real quick. We'll start with the money. That's the easy one. That should be on you. Show it to us.
It. Please pull it out right now, please.
No, you don't say that to a 13-year-old.
Put the money on the table right now.
Put the money
please.
in my hand. Show it to me. We need a
No, you
document.
gotta put it in my hand.
Put-
Then that means I'm taking it. Let's just put it on the table.
If
Just
this
show
is
it.
how I gotta rob a 13-year-old SoundCloud rapper, this is how I gotta rob a 13-year-old SoundCloud rapper.
Yeah, you said you got it. What's up? Run it.
Show it to us. Oh my god. Can we do it? Is it possible?
It's definitely possible.
It is true. Can your sister still get cameras?
Probably.
All right.
We
then
know
we're doing
people. We have connections.
it. We do have enough connections and enough people that would be down to
We
do
know
this.
enough people that do this shit legitimately to actually get it fucking done.
Just get Phil on a stage to ask us the producer.
Yep.
Yep, that would do it.
Oh my goodness gracious.
What clique do you think we're in now? Like as adults, what are we? Is there adult cliques?
Oh boy. There's I wouldn't call them cliques as much as there's like categories, right?
I guess.
Like, you have your typical, like, dad guys.
Yeah.
You know, wearing the New Balance, shorts above the knee, like white t-shirt, maybe has a stain on the belly region. That's that guy.
The Davids.
The Davids, the Tommies.
The Tommies. The Keiths.
Yeah, the Keiths. And then
Kenneth.
Kenneth is another. And then you have the group of people that are in around about our age range that are trying so very hard to like stay relevant with the kids in their 20s and stuff like that. Like, hey, you know, like the people that are 34 still going to the bar on Saturday night.
The guys who like turn their chair around backwards, so the back of the chair is where they lean their arms.
Yeah.
And they go, "Sup, kids?"
Yeah, full on like Garth Brooks in it. Like
Garth Brooks in it.
Garth Brooks in it.
Garth Brooks was known to go to the bar and try to like really wear his tap out shirt as hard as he could.
He was big Ed Hardy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no good. Yeah. Yeah, so there's those dudes.
Okay.
And then there's the people who think they're Leonardo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street.
All right. Okay.
Always walking around in like a fucking pink button up and some like light blue jeans.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Slick back hair.
Are we just naming everyone
Never
we
a
see at
beard.
Bars?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying these are the classifications you find. Yeah. What are some that you observe in your comings and goings?
All right. So I think that adult cliques do in fact exist.
Okay.
But they are in only the kind of social outings that are like bar life or nightlife. That's where you take your clique.
More. All right, I see what you're saying. So the bar is essentially the lunchroom.
The bar is the lunchroom. We can never get away from the lunchroom.
Right.
The lunchroom will always exist. That's how we were brought up.
Profound.
Right?
We can never get away from the lunchroom.
The lunchroom is
you
where we
guys
exist.
listening to this. Just know that we can never get away from the lunchroom.
So, and all right, I'll keep it simple. We'll just do like the local bar scene to start. All right?
All right.
All right. So, there are cliques in each local bar scene. And I'm talking about like, you know, not quite the dive bar, because the dive bar kind of people are their own people.
That's a mixed bag usually.
Yeah.
That's why I like dives.
Dive bars are their own people. I'm talking about like the semi popular bar, not like the ritzy place, but the place that gets packed out on Fridays.
Right.
Like on a regular basis.
Yeah.
All right. So that place definitely has some cliques. And there are the cliques that start, number one, the crew that works there, their own fucking clique. All the bartenders,
Yep.
they're their own fucking clique. All right? They're cool guys sometimes. There's always one asshole. And there's always some chick who looks at me, the light-skinned black guy, and tells me she doesn't have any Henny when I ordered a Jameson. So fuck her.
Savage. Who doesn't have Henny, first of all?
The people who don't want to serve my kind.
It's fucked up.
All right? Now, there is the bar crew. There's the early birds who show up about 3 hours before the bar pops off, so they can get their drinks in peace.
Can I amend that to say the early birds / regulars?
Those are the regulars.
Okay.
All right. So those are the ones that show up before the fucking crowd comes.
Right.
They know the bartenders by name.
Yep.
They go in, they can drink for a few hours, watch some TV, and relax without having... This is like, they leave right when the DJ shows up and like start setting up.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm out. It's time to go.
That was us, 100%.
I would stay the entire time.
We would stay the entire time, but there would be disdain when it started packing out. Like, we were like, man, fuck all these people.
Yeah, now we're going to spend our entire time outside.
Yeah.
Then you get the early party settlers, which are the people who show up ready for the DJ. They show up about the same time as the DJ. They start pre-gaming a little bit. They start looking around the bar going, this is where I'm going to do this move. They got a pool table. That's where I'm going to post up at the pool table for about like 20, 30 minutes, see who I can fucking get in there, because there'll definitely be some chicks who are coming pretty much just saying they want to play some pool and relax.
Right.
That's where I'm going to be. Then
It's going to be so many girls' nights coming in here. I just can't wait to fuck them shits up.
in pool. In the game of knocker balls. And then you have the ladies who show up at the wrong time and then get mad that no one's there, even though, like, you know that nothing starts up until, like, 11:30.
That's where that
12.
block of Yelp reviews comes in. That this place fucking sucks.
This
no
doesn't,
service.
nobody
even
here.
goes here.
There's one guy in a baseball cap in the corner who keeps fucking peering at me and going back to his whiskey. That kind of fucking... Those ladies who just don't know how time works. And then you got the initial crowd entrance. Now, this is where it gets interesting for me, because this is the bulk of the difference in people that show up all about the same time, because they all show up in groups.
Right.
They all pack into the same fucking car. Sometimes. Most of the time. It's all in the same car. And you can always tell who's going to be the troublemaker because he's in the back seat of the car.
Yep.
And he's the loudest one once he gets out of the car.
Yep.
That's the guy who's probably going to get thrown out tonight.
Yep.
Or into a fight.
That's accurate.
Am I on
So
that one?
on.
All right. Number one. So this car shows up. They get in. One guy orders drinks for the entire crew.
Yeah, he
Right?
comes over with a tray of shots.
Yeah, he comes
And
over with a tray. He
it's either-
collects everyone's money first
Yeah. Oh, okay. Naturally.
and takes orders and goes to the bar.
And it's always the shot that he brings over is always either something that nobody fucking wants to drink or something else nobody fucking wants to drink, but in another form. So it's either like something that they made in a shaker that's 90%
Yeah.
sugar, or it's just like bottom shelf, like Evan Williams
Yeah.
garbage.
See, I think that group shows up later in the night. I think the one I'm thinking of is there's just enough people at the bar right now for this person to have to lean over three people with like a $50 bill.
Right, waving it.
Wave it, and then
Excuse
when the
me,
bartender,
excuse me.
yeah, over here, chief.
Yeah.
And then when he finally gets the bartender's attention, and the two people like that he's leaning over are just over it already, he orders like 16 fireballs, and he's very proud of it.
So proud.
And the bartender
Crush
looks at
these
him
fucking
like,
things.
that's not a fucking drink. Like, you don't fucking do that. And then he takes that tray back to his friends. They drink it. And then they start kind of getting into a groove before the music starts. I've watched this a few times. They're getting whatever rhythm they want to get into once that first shot hits. And then like 15, 20 minutes later, the room starts to fill up with fucking people. Different types. Now, you got, like, the girls who come in a pair. It's just, like, the two of them who are waiting for a third and getting very impatient that the third hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah, that's usually like the leave us alone crew, which I respect.
Like, leave us alone until the third girl gets here so we
Yeah.
can let loose. We're not allowed to have fun until Sarah shows up.
Right, we're saving our fun for Sarah because we're good friends.
Exactly. And then you got the group of couple of dudes. Now, couple of dudes come in. Couple of dudes are going to walk in like they own the fucking place.
Yeah.
It's their first time there.
Yeah.
But they know that this place pops off on a Friday, right about this time.
And it's going to pop off extra hard because we're here now.
Because we're here. You might not know it, but we know the owner of the bar we don't know the name of. So,
Yeah.
watch out.
Yeah.
Watch the fuck out. Now, they're initially going to go straight to the two chicks who don't want to have
To the
fun
Leave Us
yet.
Alone crew.
Now, they aren't going to talk to them.
Just gonna stand
They're going
there
to order
and,
the
like,
drinks
lurking.
around them, so they have them in some sort of weird, like, fence area.
Yeah.
The two chicks are going to get up.
Securing the perimeter.
Yeah, they're going to a little upset, and they're going to walk away. Now, as you fucking start filing people, which are mostly at this point, once it comes to like 12-something clock, 12:30 in the morning, is when all the extra friends that were supposed to show up finally start showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So these are the extras of the initial cliques that are going to fill out the room. So you have like 4 or 5 basic cliques, the leaders of which will show up between 11 to 12.
I wouldn't call them leaders as much as I would call them like the third wheel that was like waiting for the better plans to kind of come through, and then they bailed. So it's like, fuck, now I got to go to
Now
this
I got to
bar.
go there. And they all told me they'd be here at this time. I showed up.
Right.
They're not fucking here. So now I got to sit down and wait for these motherfuckers. That was me the entire fucking time. Every time Keith was like, you want to go have a fucking drink? And I'm like, yeah, what time? And he's like, I don't know, like around 11. I'd be like, all right, dude. Like, I'll just show up around like 11:15, 11:30. and I'd show up and he wouldn't be there, and I'd have to sit on my ass in the middle of all these fucking people. And like 1 o'clock would roll around. He's like, "I'm showing up. Where are you?" And I'm like, "Fuck you, fuck you."
I'm in the Uber home.
I'm gone. I left. I left this place.
Can't believe you stood me up on our date.
Oh, I forgot. You have the actual pool dudes. The people who go to play the game of pool or darts
At a non-billiards hall.
That's where they stay the entire fucking night.
Yeah.
And if you or any of your people get on the pool table first, they come down and throw like money on the table, and it's like enough money to cover
machine.
an entire bar tab.
Yeah.
And they're like, "We'll take whoever's next, or we'll take the table, whatever." And you just look at them like, "Dude, we're fucking done."
No,
Whatever,
fuck you won't. That's what I mean. If you're going to fucking play pool, but the spot you're going to only has one fucking pool table, you can't go there and hold it down like this is the world of fucking billiards.
That's what I'm saying. It's a weird, awkward, like a post up to try to catch like the couple of attractive females or something that want to play pool.
It's a flex.
It's a weird flex, right?
Yeah, weird flex, but okay.
Is it a strange flex? That seems like a strange flex to me.
It is.
All right, because I don't ever go. Number one, the one bar was it Bootlegs that we go to every once in a while.
Yeah, R.I.P. They're done.
No, that's fucking fine. Let them go.
The
one game I played once over there and I had a really good time was they had the little basketball game.
That was fun.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You'd chuck that fucking basketball in there, and
it's
you
like
get
a basketball
points.
game.
Yeah, it's like a basketball game. It's the game of basketball. You would play it, and you would get points for everything you scored, like the game of basketball.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
I played it once over there, and I had an amazing time. But then I got surrounded by drunk people who I guess had just also found out that game existed because no one else played it when it was set up. And one day I just got bored. I'm like, I'm going to play this fucking basketball game.
Yeah.
And they just went in, and then it became like a hot spot for a night.
Yeah, then it
and I'm like, I'm never going to do
this
this again. You've ruined it. You've ruined it for me. I'm never going to do it. And then I guess bars also ended up getting the fucking beer pong shit going in there, which
that was huge.
That was a big thing. That was also stupid fucking annoying. The bootleg ones had the pool, the beer bong table right next to beer pong.
Beer pong. There's a P in there.
Beer bong.
A bong is the long thing you drink from that makes everyone vomit.
I love that thing.
I miss it.
Yeah, they have those over at Quaker Shakes over here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's like a big oil thing, and you just fucking...
That's wild.
It's good stuff. I took a break.
So good once it hits your lips.
I took a break from work, and I went over there one day, and I just ordered one. And I'm like, all right, I'll go back to work.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they put it in the middle of like the little dance floor, and that was a fucking mistake. Because you have every just drunken number one, Bootleg Manning's had a lot of drunken lesbians in it who went hard in the paint.
Oh, they did.
I do have to emphasize that they were drunken lesbians because if anybody knows after hanging out with a group of drunken people and I don't want to make it seem like like if you're literally not a person.
My sister's gay. I know all about the life.
All right, so you know the difference between that party and like a non-lesbian party.
Yeah,
they go like hard in the paint, and usually it's like a group of like lesbian chicks. There's like 2 or 3 really attractive ones in there, and then like the ones you kind of like look at and go, God, I wish you weren't. And they are being protected by the other, their significant other.
Right.
And there's always like 2 gay dudes with them who are also part of that party.
Yeah,
and
the muscle.
If it's anything like our lives, we're like the 2 straight dudes who are also, just because we know one of them, we're like roaming around lost.
Yeah.
What do I do here? There's no prospect.
Yeah.
There's no Anyway, so they go hard in the paint, and they would constantly just fuck up the beer pong thing. Or the beer pong would fuck up them, one of the 2.
Right, yeah.
And if there's one thing I know that you can't do, like by law, it's fuck up a gay dance party.
Absolutely
You're not allowed. you're fucking not allowed.
You will get slapped harder than you've ever been slapped in your whole fucking life.
Oh my god. But yeah. That's the bar scene for me. No, I'm sorry. Then you got the high class places, right?
What do you mean high class bars? Like the
Manhattan
fucking bar?
Yeah, the Manhattan one. No, I haven't spent a whole bunch of time in there.
I've only been in there as as a worker.
I think that's all one click.
What do you mean?
I'm sure there's sub clicks inside those fancy bitches, but that's one click. Like fancy,
all the people
fucking,
that go to
like
those
5-star
bars.
The
people who feel the
they
need
got
to
the
like,
money,
put on an evening gown to go for a few drinks. Like, I
dude.
see that.
Speaking of which, when I was in Texas, we were hanging out with a couple of friends of mine from like way back in the day. So this chick Heather, her brother and his girl they invited me out to go to this place. What the hell was it called? Mojito. They didn't tell me what kind of place it was.
Okay.
But they were like, "Do you want to come to a bar? Do you want to chill out? We're going over this bar in downtown Houston."
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah, sure. I got nothing fucking better to do. I'll go hang with y'all." So we go over there, and in my brain, I don't ever ask, like, what do I have to wear?
Right, yeah.
Like, what's the dress code for this fucking place?
Yeah, we always dress kind of, like, appropriately for whatever's
about
to happen.
So I thought.
Right.
I wasn't dressed like a fucking bum or anything, but I go in.
So you thought.
Yeah, so I thought, dude. Like, literally, I got the address from this place on the internet real quick, and I'm like, all right. Because they hit me up like an hour before they were going. It's about a fucking 45-minute drive to this fucking place.
Right.
So I look up the address real quick. I'm like, all right, I'm not driving. I'm going to drink. This is like Texas. I'm going to downtown Houston. Like, I'm not fucking driving. So I'm like, I'm going to call a fucking Uber.
Right. The responsible thing.
The responsible
for an adult
thing
to do.
So I call a fucking Uber, hop in this Uber, show up to this fucking place. Number one, it's in like this industrial part of fucking Houston. And as soon as I see this, I'm like, I know this whole, like, I know this scenery from Manhattan.
Yeah.
If it's a bar in a place like this, if it's not the trashiest place on earth, it's the ritziest fucking place on earth. Like, hidden away.
Yeah, there's no middle of the road.
Like
there.
a little fucking micro pub fucking whatever.
Molecular gastronomy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
These
that.
guys are throwing like gel bubbles in your face and hitting you with fucking soft feathers while they fucking force feed you whatever high-priced alcohol.
For this beverage, our waiter comes out and slaps you just as you take your first sip to
really
enhance the flavor.
It heightens the flavor. So, anyway, I go in there and I'm like, hey, I think this is the place, to the Uber. And he's like, all right, cool. Pay him, hop out. Text the people. I'm like, I'm here. They're like, oh, we're about like 15, 20 minutes out. I'm like, okay. And I look at the place, and I start seeing people pass me to go into the place, and they are in some fucking fancy fucking like dress wear shit.
No,
like,
that's the worst.
Holding their fucking like sports jacket on their arms. Their fucking girls are in like fucking tight like evening gown things. And I'm just like, I'm sitting here in like my tight skinny jeans, all black, beanie
like
on my head.
Looking like
had a nice shirt on. It was a nice shirt. And I'm just sitting on the corner. I'm like, I cannot justify to the law of the world for me to walk into this fucking establishment by myself.
Right.
For many reasons.
Yeah.
A lot. Number one, I don't think they'll let me in if I don't walk in with at least two other white people. That's the first thing that's going through my mind.
Yeah, I very much look like I don't belong inside this building.
Well, it took me a second to realize that I'm caught in a catch-22 now. Because number one, I don't look like I belong going in there. And if I stay here on the corner of this fucking street, I look like I'm selling a lot of drugs. And like really high-priced drugs to the type of people walking around over here.
Make that money,
I
man.
look like I'm selling all of the cocaine to everybody. And the people walking by were looking at me like I was probably carrying
like,
cocaine.
Yo, man, I'm gonna see you later.
And like I had a couple of fucking chicks walk by me, and they did that thing where they kind of like their hands are down, and then they Do you ever like walk past something and you want to like make other people notice it, so you kind of point your finger at it and you start to open your mouth and be like, it's not worth it, and you just keep walking? I had like 2 chicks could be like, and then keep walking. And I'm like, all right, dude. So I texted people one more time. I'm like, how fucking far are you? Because I'm pretty sure I'm about to be picked up in a fucking paddy wagon, or people are going to start asking me for drugs.
Yeah. Or ID. Like
they're like, oh, we're pulling up. So they pull up. We go inside. I walk in with them. They're dressed fucking nice. And I'm like, I really wish you would have gave me the fucking... Like, it's just common courtesy to give somebody the heads up.
Right.
Like, it's a fancy joint. Where you know, something a little bit nicer than you usually do.
At the same time, you're in fucking Texas.
Well, that's the whole thing. A lot of people picture it that way. Houston, the city, it gets pretty fucking ritzy, bro. Like, it's really...
But are they snobby like that? Because most of the people I know from Texas are the coolest motherfuckers ever. They wouldn't even give a shit.
The individuals, I'm sure not. Especially for how many people were really thinking about buying cocaine from me. You know what I mean? They weren't like, what are you doing here? They're like,
Well, that was definitely like Kyle's and Todd's and Tyler's.
Well, that's one of the people I met. His name was Kyle.
Of course.
But he's absolutely not like
that. Did he ask you if you were holding?
No, he showed up, and he's my friend Heather's brother. But we go inside. I just walk in at this point because at least I'm surrounded by people who probably look like they just invited me in.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking like classy ass fucking place in here, and everybody in here looks like their parents are lawyers, or they're working fucking like high end fucking jobs.
Right,
like they're making 6-figure. Like this is a 6-figure dive bar. You know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, well, I'm in. Like, this is happening. So I walk up to the fucking bartender, who, number one, the bar looks like a fucking kitchen at a Food Network. Like, it's not just a straight bar. It, like, curves around him. He has fucking lemons and shit hanging from the ceiling and all this other stuff.
Sounds wonderful.
And I look at him, and I'm just like, Kyle goes, oh, they make a fucking ridiculous old-fashioned here. Like, just order the old-fashioned. I'm like, I'll get an old-fashioned later if we're going to be here for a while. You know, that's something I'm going to sip on regardless. I just want something now because everybody in here thinks I fucking sell cocaine.
No, so you needed your red Solo cup filled to the top with Johnny Walker
I'm
Red.
like, I need to get through the nerves of all the white people around me real quick. So just fucking relax and let me handle this. And that's what it was. It was a white party. Like... I'm not the darkest dude on earth. I was the darkest dude on earth in that fucking bar. I was Wesley Snipes singing in there. So I go in and I'm like, whatever, I'll get one of those later. And by the way, I go, the bartender says, hey, what do you need? And I'm like, oh, I heard y'all guys make a good old fashioned. I'm like, is it good? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, cool. How much for an old fashioned? He's like, $30. And I'm like, I'll take a JMO and soda, please. And he looked at me up and down and he just goes, we don't have JMO. May I introduce you to? And he fucking goes back and points at like all this other whiskey and shit that's back there. Jeez. And I'm like, introduce me to? And he was just like, yeah. He's like, may I introduce you to? And he goes back and points, and I just look at him and go, bro, I just ordered a Jameson. Just get me a fucking whiskey. Like, anything will do at this fucking point. Right. I'm basically telling you I don't want well whiskey, but I just want whiskey.
But I don't want to pay $35 for a cocktail.
And he's like, which one would you like? I'm like, dude, I just ordered fucking Jameson. Like, you, as a bartender, you should know that just means I just want a fucking whiskey at this point. If you don't have JMO, just give me the equivalent to fucking medium fucking whiskey.
Well, I see. I think here's where the problem is. You ran into what's known as a mixologist.
Exactly.
He ain't no bartender. He's not cracking a beer for you.
He was a fucking cook.
He cooks with liquids.
Yeah, and he pulls something off the shelf and he goes, this will be fine. And he fucking puts it in there, puts some soda in there. I'm like, all right. I pound that shit. I'm just like, whatever. I just needed a fucking full glass of fucking something.
Right.
And I pound that shit. Mm-hmm. And I ask him, I'm like, what kind of beers? He tells me what beers. I grab a beer and I fucking walk to the back to meet the other people who have found a table and they're sitting down to go eat. This isn't a good, this isn't a good bar story. Like, I didn't have fun at this bar.
I could tell thus far.
It's
not a great
This was a
experience.
bad time, and this is why I don't go to fancy fucking bars, because I feel like this is what it is all the fucking time. But we go into the back. I'm like, all right, dude, that was a stressful fucking situation for me. And I tell Kyle and his fucking chick, I'm like, yo, that was stressful for me. Please tell me, do they have food? And he's like, oh yeah, they have a menu. Go ahead and go over the menu. I'm like, all right. So go over the menu. They got everything from like charcuterie boards to fucking grilled cheese sandwiches and chicken strips and all this other shit.
But
like,
fancy versions.
Oh god, no. I found out later. No, they might have been. They might have been.
Okay.
They might have been, but not at that time. All right.
That's
so
fair.
basically, what happens is like the waiter comes out.
Right.
And I put the biggest quotes around that title.
The garçon.
The garçon comes out and he's like, hey, can I get you anything? Any more drinks? Anything like this? And I'm like, all right, at this point, I don't fucking care. Just bring me out an old fashioned or whatever.
Yeah.
Just bring
Here's
me
your
out
fucking stack of hundreds.
Just bring me
my
out a
cocktail.
fucking old fashioned. Give me something I can sip on while I'm here. That's fine. And I'm like, can you do me a favor? Can you bring me out nachos? Just bring me out a plate of nachos. He was like, at the moment, I'm sorry, we don't have any of like the nacho meat for the nachos. We're out. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right, that's fine. Whatever.
It's not fine, but okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It progressively gets worse. And then I'm like, all right, dude, I'll take a thing of the chicken. We're currently out of chicken. Okay. And I think, what did I say? Oh yeah, I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll take the little shrimp thing. We don't have any shrimp. I'm like, all right, hold up. Just hold up. Would it be easier for you to tell me what on the menu you do have? And he was like, at the moment, we have chips, and I can probably talk the chef into making a grilled cheese.
And this motherfucker needs to be convinced.
I looked at him and I was like, it's like 10:30, maybe 11 o'clock.
Right.
It's not that late for a bar with a kitchen.
Yeah, normal. Like the kitchen should be open.
And I looked at him,
be an issue.
And I was like, in straight Pat fashion, where I have to break this down into something, I was just like, so basically what you're telling me is this place is completely out of proteins. And he goes, pretty much, yeah, no proteins. Is the kitchen closing soon? Yeah. Your chef doesn't want to heat up any protein. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, just bring me some fucking chips, my guy.
Busted.
Just bring me some fucking chips. And I was like, he's like, okay. And then he walked away and I was like, hey, hold up. He's like, yeah, what can I help you with? Are you going to charge me for these chips? And he was like, I don't think so.
That's the right answer. That's the right answer.
So we sit there, we drink. I'm just brooding at this fucking point, like looking at the people who brought me here, and I'm just like,
fucking pieces of shits.
I'm just like, man. And they bring me out the chips, and they bring out the chips. I'm like, y'all guys want some chips? Like, to the people I'm with, and they're looking at it. These are, I kid you not, Tostino's lemon lime chips.
Oh, the Tostitos fucking hint
This
of lime,
dude
whatever.
opened up a bag of fucking chips he had in the back and poured them into a fucking basket.
And presented them.
And presented them as, here.
We made these.
Your
for you.
sustenance. I chefed the shit out of these for you.
Fuck this guy. I don't even know him.
I don't know him either. I didn't get to meet him. And they have a bite of a chip and they're drinking, and we all just kind of look at each other and we go, we need to go someplace else.
Yeah, this is bad time. This is a bad time.
This is a bad fucking joint right here. And number one, I will say, the old fashioned, fucking delicious. It was good. I will say it was good.
All right, at least they had that going for them. But you paid so much money for it. That's why I'm irritated.
Yeah.
It was too much.
It was frustration.
Money.
It was a frustration payment.
Yeah.
It's like they fucking knew how to work it.
We've had some of those. I'm pretty sure I anger bought a drink when we were at Le Poison Rouge to see the burlesque show.
Oh, I'm almost positive, yeah.
I'm pretty sure all the drinks I bought that night were like,
anger.
You fucking kidding me? While I put the money down on the bar.
But that one was understandable because it was fucking New York. The thing is that 99% of the bars in Houston are fairly fucking cheap, even fancy ones. But, all right, so we all look at each other and we're like, all right, we need to go. And this goes to my fucking whole thing about, like, the bar click thing. We need to go to a different bar. So we end up going to, I think it's a place called either, like, Home Run or something like this. And it's another place. We go into, basically, this place called The Village, and, not The Village. It was like east side of Houston, so it's completely across the other side of the city, Houston.
Right.
And we show up to this place, and I see the light, and I see the building it's in. And I look, and I'm like, I know this type of place. It's red lights everywhere inside.
Yep.
The bar is set up straight across the back.
Yep.
There's a back room and an upstairs. I'm like, I know this type of bar.
Yes, this is where I thrive.
And I walked in, just kicked the door open.
Yeah.
I was like, give me a Shiner. Get me chicken wings. Everybody upstairs to the floor.
You, bring me Jameson.
Yeah, I did order a Jameson. And I was like, success. And it was literally, it was set up the exact same way as that fucking metal bar in Brooklyn. And I was just like, dude, this is home.
Yep.
This is where all the grimy fucking sick bastards go to fucking drink. It's packed as fuck in this place. You can barely fucking move. Everybody's having a good fucking time.
Like dingbats. Like when we used to play dingbats.
And I was just like, this is the shit. Like, everybody's crowded on top of each other, but there's like fucking rock music playing, and no one gives a fuck. Everyone's dressed worse than I am.
Yeah, everybody's sweating and shit, hugging each other, hugging strangers.
And I'm like, fucking A. Why didn't we come here first? What is with this fucking ritzy ass shit? But I think I actually went in there and I told the dude, I was like, number one, I need a fucking Shiner. And then when I got a Shiner, I was like, do you have fucking Jameson? The dude looked at me like I was fucking stupid.
Yeah,
he's like,
why would I not?
Duh. Yes. He's like, do you want one? I'm like, I'll fucking take one. I'll probably take another later. Don't fucking question me. I've had a hard fucking night.
Don't press me.
Do not fucking press me. I'm like, is your kitchen open? They're like, yeah, it's open. I'm like, give me the food. Like, I just got fucking force-fed chips. Like, just give me the fucking food.
Somebody tried to pawn off bagged chips in
Someone
front of me.
tried to fucking literally con me into a fucking bag of Tostinos. I don't fucking understand how it happened.
And fucking thought for a minute about charging me.
Literally, it was an option that I was have to pay for it. It was an option. But yeah, so that equivalent to like, that's my equivalent to like a fucking bar scene. That might be the epitome of a bar scene click. Like you don't I would never willingly go to another place like Mojito again and fucking be okay with that.
Yeah,
I don't understand how the people there did it.
Yeah,
because they were not having a good time. Everyone was very quiet.
Yeah,
and just like leaning on things, and I'm sure they were talking about their latest bank account or some shit that they were going over.
Someone laughs too loud and everybody around.
Turns. Like, I know. When I got loud with the waiter, like 18 people looked at me, and it was like, and in the back of my head, like I see these dudes looking at me. I'm like, no, this is justified shit. Like, you don't know, number one, how much money I have when I came here. So you can't even put me into a thing of like, oh, he's poor, he can't afford the Tostinos. Like, that's not how that works. If y'all guys came here with your fucking checkbooks and someone goes, we're all out of the shrimp, you would be the most Karen out of any of this. Yeah. I was a calm Karen at that very fucking point in time. I accepted the chips. I just wasn't going to pay for them.
That's fair. I mean, that's when you walk into a fucking snazzy bar. See, this is where, like, all right, it takes a very special, like, atmosphere in a bar for me to feel okay. It's mainly the one that you described in the second bar.
Yes.
But also, with that being said, if I walk into a bar that is like stereotypical, like, old man bar, right? Like the lights are too bright.
Yeah.
Fucking, you can hear the televisions. Like there's like 4 people in there and they're having conversations.
Thrive in those situations.
I'm not a huge fan. I need a little bit of action. I need a little bit of excitement. I don't want too much going on, and I definitely don't need any bros fucking peacocking around.
That kind of place is a middle of the week, I just need the fucking drink place you go.
Right.
And also, once you get to know some of those old bastards that are fucking sitting in there, hilarious.
Yeah,
place.
I'm not hating on them. I've gone to a few of them and I've had great times there. It's just like upon walking in, you're just like, man, this is gonna be beat.
Those were some of the funniest places for me to go because I would go to places like that, and actually, this is another like bar down the street from my house when I was in fucking Texas, which was next to my old neighborhood or whatever. But we would go over there every once in a while because somebody who lived in the same apartment complex as us played in a cover band. They would play over there, so we'd go and just fucking chill.
Right.
They had like an entire back room of darts and fucking arcade games and all this other shit. So it was a fucking chill ass place. But like if you go there on a fucking dead night, it's the same 6 old dudes. And they would recognize me every once in a while. And I started inserting myself into their conversations.
Right.
For a little bit, because at a certain point, it's like, all right, I'm not here because I'm mad or depressed. I'm just here because I want to drink. And also, I have no problem talking to these fuckers about whatever.
Yeah,
so I'd hear them talk, and I started inserting myself into their fucking conversation. And lo and behold, like their entire conversation is just like 6 old dudes shitting on each other.
Yeah.
Like nonstop, like just fucking ruining each other's lives with the things they say. Because these guys know each other's wives and all this other shit, and they are talking all of the shit. And I would just slide in and be like, ha ha.
Yo, Jerry, you heard what he said about Donna? Shit.
And they were the fucking most awesome people because they would just look at me and be like, and laugh with me and be like, all right, so you're in this now.
Yeah.
And I'm
you're
like,
into this?
absolutely,
You like this?
I'm in this. And dude, that was like the best fucking thing ever because number one, I had nothing to lose in that fucking conversation whatsoever. These dudes had nothing to lose in life. They were already at the point of like, yo, whatever. And we could fucking like, dude, I was saying shit about total strangers in their personal lives that I was just picking up on from the fucking like other people talking about them. That is not a socially acceptable way to go through fucking life.
Right.
That was the only moment I could do that.
Right.
Because like you can't go to like a grocery store and stand next to like somebody in the checkout lane who's complaining about like whoever and then just go, ha ha.
Yeah. Or chime in and be like, yeah, I heard that person's a real piece of shit.
Like, I don't fucking know you.
Yeah.
These old dudes were like, welcome to the fucking party right
welcome
now.
to the Thunderdome.
Welcome to the fucking Thunderdome. Let us find something out about you, Pat. We're gonna fucking shit on you.
That group of dudes in and of itself is a clique, though. They go to that bar.
Oh yeah, no, that was the epitome of like the King of the Hill like type scenario.
Yeah, that is definitely. I'm getting big King of the Hill.
They
vibes.
were 100% like those dudes, and it was the best.
But back to your point about partying with groups of lesbians, there was a time where I was partying with my sister, and we would go to gay bars and lesbian bars.
I went with you to one of them.
Did you? Were you there? Maybe
we went to
there.
that place in the city, I think.
Henrietta's?
Was it Henrietta's? It might have been Henrietta's.
It had the big triangle on the window.
I don't know.
We were with Joe.
Yeah, I think I went with you with one of those.
Yeah. So, all right, and this was Joe's recollection of the night, which when he explained it to me, I was like, yes, and I'm sure you'll fucking attest to this.
Okay.
When we walked into the bar,
there was a full-blown dance party going on.
But it's almost like the record scratched and every head whipped around and they were like, the fucking men are here. Like,
well, it was funny because the
we
people
had 4
dancing
girls with us.
The people dancing when I was there with you were all dudes, and they all wrote for like some like an LB what's the anagram for this?
LBGTQ.
Like they wrote for a magazine. It was an entire like magazine like party thing. Their whole like office was there, and they were all having a dance party.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, when I went with you, they all looked back at us, and then we all came, like, everybody in our group, not everybody, like, you and I kind of went, oh, crap. But, like, your sister and everybody else involved was like, nah, we're with you.
Yeah.
And they continued on with their shit, and then literally, like, came up to us and everybody and started having a fucking, like, powwow with everybody.
We ended up having a great time despite that awkward, like, passing the threshold. We had a fucking ball that night, man. We were pounding Jaeger shots.
That was the night I got a good amount of compliments. And I felt fantastic about me.
They were liking you.
I felt fantastic about me after that. I felt amazing.
I got hit on by dudes at the fucking gay bar one time on Staten Island.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's like...
If you ever feeling down about yourself, just go to a gay bar.
They make you feel so beautiful.
And just take the fucking compliments. That's like the way to do it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was a little surprised. I was nice in like the decline, but what happened was I was getting a beer at the bar, and Lady Gaga video was on in the back, and the dude walked up to me and he was like, "So how's it going?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just watching the music video." And he was like, "Oh, you've never seen the Alejandro video?" Like with the sass. And I looked at him and I was like I didn't think, but this was just my reaction. I was like, "Nah, man, I don't listen to this shit." Straight up. And he was like, "Oh, okay, all right, no problem." And then like I guess he got the hint at that point and walked away. But I didn't like, I wasn't like, "Ew, no, get away from me." I just, without even thinking, I was like, "Nah, man, I don't fucking listen to Lady Gaga." Like, you know, but
see,
funny because now I do.
The way I would have handled that is so different, because I've been like, "Have I seen the Alejandro video? Are you fucking kidding me? 1,000 fucking times."
See, that's
the problem.
Pat troll. I don't have the fucking wherewithal to like begin trolling people when I'm in.
Well, all right. So,
you know, one of those scenarios.
We're gonna switch up this whole fucking thing right now. But the first time that ever happened to me, like on Staten Island, was when I was at Sharky's, the fucking dive bar over there, and like the most flamboyant gay man walked in, dressed as, and I fucking shit you not, a giant pink pterodactyl. And
That's
he came in,
awesome.
Glittered out, pink pterodactyl. He walked in off the fucking street.
That's fucking awesome.
And I was sitting at the bar with like 3 other people, and this dude stood at the bar right next to me, and I looked at him and I went, "Sick clothes, dude." And he went full, like, how do you put it? He hit on me hard as fuck.
Yeah, it
for
was game
like
time. Game time.
What seemed like an hour. And I was just being fucking, like, I didn't take it as anything. I was just like, "Bro, thank you. I appreciate that." We had a conversation, all this other stuff. And then it came to the point where he tried to lock it in, and I looked at him and I went, "Straight as fuck, bro."
Yeah.
And he literally looked at me and goes, "I appreciate the fact that you just sat there and fucking like talked to me." He was like, "You're a good dude. Like, I appreciate that." I'm like, "You're a sick pterodactyl, bro. Like,
yeah,
you're fucking awesome." Like, it's fine.
Hell yeah. I've had nothing but good experiences with fucking gay
like,
people.
absolutely.
Well, that's not entirely true, but
I can honestly say, like, dude, you gotta shed whatever the fucking uncomfortableness of your fucking whole like sexual preferences and go and hang out with those fucking, as a fucking straight man.
Yeah, I agree.
Hanging out with some gay dudes every once in a while is a fucking boost of confidence.
Fuck yeah,
that
dude.
you will always fucking need.
Well, I grew up in a house. I mean, my sister's a lesbian, but one of her good friends is gay, and he was living in my house for like a good portion of me growing up, like maybe like 7 or 8 years or something. So like that was never like a weird thing to me. Like this guy was like, he would always listen to dance music and dance around the house and fucking be cleaning and shit like that. And I was just like, that's what makes this guy happy. I was never like, ew, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
how I clean my house.
Like, yeah. So I was never like put off by any of that shit. And the same thing, like if a dude hits on me, you don't need to be like, "Ew, bro, like you're not supposed to be that way." Like, you know, you don't fucking comment on
take the compliment.
Right. He's saying you look good.
Like
someone's telling you look nice.
Number one, and if a fucking gay dude says you're looking fucking good, like in the like if a gay dude is I fucking you, you're doing something right. For all of the sexes. Like,
yeah,
that is basically saying no matter who you are on that particular moment and that particular day, go out and try to find a fucking woman. Yeah, because you've nailed it that day.
You got the drip.
You got it
juice.
that day.
It's happening.
That's all you need to get up from your chair, look him dead in the eyes, and be like, dude, I appreciate the shit out of it. I'm straight. Can you roll with me real quick? We need to go pick up some fucking women for me. I will find a dude for you. I swear to God, I will fucking hook you up. Like, we need to go. You're my wingman. I'm your wingman.
Right.
Like, that's it.
We got this.
We're rolling together.
We're taking over the world.
You find yourself a fucking, like, a teammate in that, and you fucking go and you rule the world for, like a night. That's fine. Absolutely. Because I guarantee you, even if neither one of you gets lucky that night, you're going to have a fucking good time.
Fuck yeah, man. I agree.
Also,
100%.
I'm pretty sure that guy knows way better places to hang out than you.
Yeah, it's always live as fuck at gay bars, man. Like, anytime I've ever been to a quote-unquote gay bar, it's been fucking popping.
And all you need to do, if you go to a gay bar with either a group of gay people or your gay friend, they will point out to you who's fucking straight. And they will hook you the fuck up.
Right.
They will make it so. You don't have to be awkward or creepy about it. They will literally, because that straight, like, chick who's hanging out with those gay people, they're just going to be like, I need you to meet fucking Pat. He's a cool fucking dude. He's not fucking creepy, whatever. Like, just, you want to chill with him for a little bit? Because, like, you're getting the key right there. Right. They're giving you the fucking key. Like, you need to go hang out with him. He's fucking awesome.
Dude, the straight people that go with their gay friends to gay bars, as soon as they walk in, immediately fall into the same category as, like, kids that go with their parents to work and they have to bring them to, like, the daycare room.
It's that culture shock, bro.
It's like beautiful. you're in gay daycare right now. Yeah. The parents are gonna go here and mingle. Y'all guys should be friends. You have something in common. You know what I mean? It's like one of those types of scenarios. I'm here for it, man.
The culture shock is amazing. And look, if you're gonna go out and try to have a good fucking time for a night, go out with people who are gonna have a fucking good time for the night.
Right.
That's it.
Exactly.
Because that was like my main thing when I would take you, Josh, and everybody else out. I would never say like, "Oh, we're gonna go hit up the bar." It's like, we're going on an adventure.
Yeah, we're getting fucking weird tonight.
We're gonna get fucking weird. Like, that has to be the mission if you're going to have a fucking, like, decent time. Yeah. Like, you need to go and have, like, a good time. Now, number 2, if you're a fucking person who likes to visit the fucking strip club every once in a while, also, you need to take those people with you. Those people are there to literally party.
Yeah.
And that is it.
There's a lot of weird stuff that goes on when you bring a group of people to a strip club.
Yes. A lot. People get unwanted massages. People get what happened, what was the one where, oh, you weren't with us, me and Josh, when we went to Michigan?
No.
Went to one, and like we both ended up with like strippers' numbers. One was trying to take me back to like Battle Creek.
Yeah, I remember.
Fucking
Danger Mouse.
Danger Mouse. And Josh ended up having a fucking like whole life revelation with some.
Yeah, that's so Josh to like be getting a lap dance and like just put her on the couch and be like, so tell me about yourself. Like
the talk of a lifetime.
That's so Josh.
He came out with her entire 5-year plan. Like, this dude, and mind you, like, this is again, like, I went in there, I ordered like all the 3 wise men, and I think I ordered 2 3 wise men while I was in there, and on the third one they just gave me a fucking like a goblet of it.
Yeah, here, just fucking have it all.
Just fucking have it. What was that place called? Manzaria? Which I'm pretty sure that word in general is just the worst name for a fucking strip club.
Yeah, I think yeah.
I forgot what it stands for, but it's fucking hilarious. But yeah, you should definitely go do that. And then what was the other strip? Risque in Philly, where we played the shows every once in a while.
Yeah, that was great. I just for some reason it popped into my head. I think we were at Curves one night after working a pro show or something like that.
Oh, that sad place.
Yo,
where they fed us Windex hookah.
Yeah, so some girl, I think she was one of the girls that like goes and gives you a massage,
which I have never seen except for New York.
Yo, first of all, I don't understand it, but second, like I was so blown away because this chick came over and she was talking to me, whatever, and I politely declined her massage, and then all of a sudden
she forced it upon you.
She grabbed me and started making out with me.
Oh, that's
which, I mean, it was fun. It was nice. It was good. She was pretty, but then it got weird, and then it was time to leave.
We gotta go.
I walked away from that situation going like, do I owe somebody money right now? Like, what just fucking happened?
Yeah, they're gonna
to
chase
me?
down the car and shit.
Yeah,
You're just gonna see two big ass fucking bouncers running full speed after us.
I did not know what happened.
Yeah, well, there's situations like that. Then you go into the one, which it was someplace in fucking like South Jersey we went to. I think it was called like Volcanic Eruptions or some shit that we went to. I went to with a group of other people. I think Drew at the time. I don't know if you remember Drew.
I remember Drew.
We went over there, and it was a BYOB strip club.
Mm-hmm.
So we're sitting down. We have like 4 cases of whatever. And at this point, like, I'm in there, and I'm just straight like fucking people watching at this point in time, because like I kind of got dragged over there.
It's
I wasn't in the head
bar activity.
I wasn't in the headspace for strip club that night.
Yeah.
I was just in like straight up like, I'm down for whatever, dude. Like, I don't care. Let's just go.
See where this takes me.
Yeah, so I'm going through my cooler full of stuff, and then it becomes like one of the most entertaining nights, because the VIP room, like the lap dance room, is on my right hand side, and it's just it looks like dressing room doors kind of, and we're about like 30 minutes into this place. Drew is fucking throwing money at whoever. I'm just sitting here on this thing, just like drinking, and I see a stripper just bust out the door, and the very first thing's out of her mouth, and this is angry. If he puts his finger in my butt one more time, I'm done.
What?
And I look over and I see this, and she's like walking towards the bar, but she stops, and then she turns back around and goes right back in the room. And then like fucking 15 minutes pass, and you see her bolt out of there again. Like, bolt.
Oh,
and she's
man.
trying to go get fucking security. She's like, fuck it, get security.
Oh, man.
And I'm sitting there just like Kermit the Frog with his fucking tea, just with a big grin on my face, number one. I'm just watching this.
Naturally.
And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
He did it. Like, the dude did it.
You crazy son of a bitch.
Because he, number one, I'm sure she gave him a face-to-face verbal warning before had to be the first one. Then the second one is when she ran out of the room to let everybody else know that if he did it again, that there was going to be fucking trouble. And then
But she went back for more. That's
but she
what
went
blows
back.
my mind.
She has work ethic.
She's a that is good
like
work
no
ethic.
other. She
Yeah,
was like, look, these are the precautions. Like, those were the actual steps put together by like the corporate office. If someone sticks their finger up your butt, it's one verbal warning to the face. Second time, you let everybody in the club know. Third time,
God.
get security.
I would love to work
So
HR at a strip club.
She ran out of there. She runs to go get security, and all I see stumble out of this room. And when I say stumble, I mean fucking stumbling, laughing his ass off, is like this Asian dude who doesn't, number one, I don't think he speaks any English, because he didn't say I'm sorry, he didn't say wait, hold up. He was just laughing.
That's great.
Laughing all the way until the fucking security yoked this dude up and physically picked him up and just brought him out of the club. And I was like, I leaned back in my chair. Drew at some point came back over. I hadn't moved. I was still comprehending all the fucking moments that had taken place. And I'm like, Drew, the night is over. Nothing can top this. I will explain to you when we get back. But we need to go, because everything from this point on, not going to be as good as whatever the fuck I just saw.
Yeah.
I was like, that's it. That is it.
That's a wild story.
Dude, that was one. I will have a visual of that whole scene until my deathbed, because it was one of the most genuinely funny fucking life events that I wasn't actually like a part of. I just watched, and when I tell you, when this guy came stumbling out of there, like, he was laughing to the point of like tears. Like,
he thought it was funny.
The whole thing to him was the fucking joke. Like, every finger he put up that chick's butt was a fucking riot. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I think it's time for final thoughts.
Final fucking thoughts on this episode. Do not stick your fingers where they don't belong, especially when a lady is nice enough to sit on your lap.
Actually, the final thoughts should be: do not stick your fingers where they don't belong after the third warning.
Yeah, alright.
Especially if put in place by the corporate office of Volcanic Eruption Strip Club in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
100% cosign.
Alright. Well, again, please hit the subscribe button. Make sure you get notified whenever we put these episodes up. We always have fun reminiscing and telling stories about all this stuff. And you can follow us on YouTube, on Bravo Gentlemen, and on our Twitch. Vinny?
You could find me at Vinny Drums 3825.
And guess what I remembered? Mine is Cricket642.
You got it.
I wrote it down.
Job.
I wrote it down and I slept with it on my forehead so I wouldn't forget.
You can also find me on Facebook at 3825 Gaming. And yeah, make sure you check out the YouTube.
And hit us up with some comments and let us know some funny stories about your nights out. We'd love to hear them.
Yep.
And talk about you behind your back. Or on the podcast. Most likely on the podcast. A little bit behind your back.
Yeah, we'll talk about you on the pod. We'll let you know.
We'll talk about you between ourselves. Anyway, bye.
Later.